Hello guys, welcome to Lepaklab podcast. Today we're gonna talk about
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So let's introduce our guest for today. Okay, I'll start off by introducing. Jeff, you all have seen before, right? So introduce our guest, Zhisen. So Zhisen is actually a year 4 right now, studying engineering science. Anybody don't know, you can ask him in the comments. Okay, I think to start off, maybe all of us can share what is our background, what is the role that we intern in the company, and what's the industry like. So maybe our guest, you want to share first.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Zhisen and I'm a year 4 engineering science student. My specialization involves semiconductors, but my role in Shenzhen was in a company called Xnode, which is a cross-border accelerator. For any of you guys that don't know what's an accelerator, essentially we help startups that are interested in expanding their market size, either overseas or in a new industry so in a new market. So that's what Xnode does, and we specialize in China, Singapore, as well as other countries, but mainly China and Singapore. So 2 ways, and my job mostly is to help with the Shenzhen operations side as an innovation and acceleration intern because we take on multiple objects, right? But because Xnode Shenzhen's team is very small, so I'm able to take on multiple roles, so I wouldn't want to restrict my role name as it is . Yeah, but the experience was really good.
Okay, that's great.
Hello.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no. Okay, I was working in a digital marketing agency in Shenzhen. Yeah, so my role in the company is as an algorithm engineer intern. So basically, we help the advertising team to push out the advertisement to the right audience. So in short, that's how we do. Yeah.
Okay, so for myself, just to refresh again, I'm Chong. I'm a pharmaceutical science final year undergraduate. Then my role in the company is actually business development intern, where I work for a biotech startup. We use technology to detect heart rate, we can detect core body temperature, we can even detect respiratory rate, sleep cycle, your sleep health, all of these details, all through your ears. Okay, something unique about my company would be my company is actually based in Hong Kong. So just to provide context again, all of us were from Greater Bay Area, so all of us work in Shenzhen technically. But for myself, because my company's HQ is based in Hong Kong, so I actually have the opportunity to shuffle between Shenzhen and Hong Kong almost like 2 times or 3 times a week. For those viewers, actually you're getting 3 times value out of this video. Why would I say so? You have someone who has a cross-border cultural experience, you have someone who works in a cross-national experience, and you also have someone who is
Only work in Shenzhen.
yeah, you're someone who's a software engineer in a very tech-based place in China. First question, what were your initial expectations of working in China like before you reach? Then after you reach, settled in, what is your realization after that?
I think everybody all also have the same thing . I thought China was very traditional. So when I went there, my parents are like, "Ayo, don't drink so much alcohol, all the client confirm make you drink alcohol, blah blah blah. Then have to go and drink a lot of tea, all this kind of stuff."
Nice.
But then I'm not sure. I think some companies are actually like that. Yeah, some companies are actually like that. But that's more for traditional companies. Because my company, we are cross-border, so that means that we are very international. So we don't have this mindset of like, hey, need to drink the tea, need to drink a lot of alcohol, need to smoke, all this kind of stuff. We don't have this culture.
Okay.
So for us, it's really just work as per usual, like Singapore, like that lor. Yeah, so to me, when I went over, that's why when I started working, there wasn't too much of a culture shock for me. The only big difference was just using Chinese lor. Yeah, and all the different softwares. Yeah, so I was also quite shocked at how smooth the transition was. Yeah, for that part . So technically the expectation was like gonna be very traditional. I gotta drink tea every day, I gotta OT every day. OT and me he can share more . For me, my company very international, and yeah, I think I was quite lucky . Yeah, for me. So it depends lor.
What kind of software you were talking about?
All the 百度盘 like instead of Google Drive, people don't use Google Drive. People use 百度盘, which is a Google Drive equivalent. Then what else they use? No emails, like essentially emails are non-existent. We use WeChat to talk to like 国内 talk to the China people use WeChat . But then if you talk overseas, then we'll use email. Yeah, cause we still use email lah.
Mm.
Yeah, and mostly just WeChat and Baidu Pan and random stuff here and there that I need to go and download to go and make sure that I can give them the files that they want.
The equivalent of Zoom, eh?
Tencent meeting. They all use Tencent meeting a lot?
Tencent or luck.
Oh yeah, Facial, yes. Yeah, Facial. Yeah, because in Singapore we call it Luck.
Luck, yeah.
Yeah, but then we use Facial, which is like a Google Drive plus Notion, which is super good. Yeah, it's actually really damn good because we got a lot of data, a lot of different clients, a lot of different like people that we network with, right? And we store inside like a database. And then this database, there are a lot of different ways that you can view it, like Notion like that lah. Yeah, so it really helps a lot with organizing all the different information, be it like contact details or like documentation of your documents and stuff lah. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, right, my initial expectation before I go to China to intern, I think a lot of people say that China has this very strong management culture, right? Whereby you work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days per week.
Oh, right.
I was already ready lah. I was already ready for that. Like, okay, at least I still got 1 day to rest. So it is like,
Oh my god!
So poor thing.
right. So that was my expectation. I mean, working at a startup, I would expect myself to learn a lot lah, because I'm going in as a computer engineer. It's a role that I have never taken before, so I don't have any experience. So I'm quite glad that my company took me in. Yeah. So when I went over, I think indeed like what Sun said lah, the transition is very smooth. So we don't have that drinking culture. So we need to like lion the process.
Yeah, no such thing.
Yeah, we
Okay.
don't need to. So it's fine. Other than that, because my CMO and CEO, they actually studied in US,
Oh.
so it's a bit more westernized.
Yeah.
Their culture is not. It's not like, I would say that they are very open to changes, as long as you it helps the company lah. As long as it benefits the company. So they have their own way of managing, and I would say that if compared to Singapore, probably the workload is a bit more tough. So they are cramping more work within that short period of time as compared to Singapore. Yeah, I think in Singapore, like in my previous startup experience, it's all quite chill. So the community is same as Singapore, same as China. They are quite open, and we are like a very close knit company within the company itself. So that's good, but it's just that the work is a lot lah. Like they really dump you because the client requirement. We are working directly with clients.
Yeah.
So all our projects are client-based project. So
Yours
let's say-
a marketing company,
so
right?
we're marketing projects now. They are from clients, right? So then let's say that we're handling 10 clients like at this period of time. And then let's say these 10 clients throw you at least 5 requirements per client. So you have to handle like 50. And then our team, we only have like 3 people. So
To handle 50.
to handle like 50 new requirements lah. So we just need to keep implementing new requirements and then get out the result that they want.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that lor. Other than that, I'm lucky to be in a startup that really helped me to grow professionally as well as personally lah. So I get a lot of feedback on what did I do wrong or how can I improve myself. Yeah, as well as get a lot of feedback on my work. Why certain way doesn't work or what I need to do in certain way.
Okay. So I think I'm quite different from the two of them. Reason why, right, is because actually you all still expect some kind of transition, but for mine, first on the point where we already had an interview with my boss, right? My boss is actually Singaporean. Yeah. So you all know, right? Yeah. My boss is Singaporean. So I feel that the way he runs the company is very, very similar to any experience that I would have in a Singapore-based startup lah. Then of course, I don't face a lot of transition issues. I think mainly is 2 things. First, because I shuttle between Hong Kong and Shenzhen, right? So my initial expectation of this whole journey would be like, it's gonna be very exciting. I'm going to a new place. I'm gonna see a lot of things. That's what I thought when I went from my Shenzhen branch all the way to Hong Kong. So maybe just give a context. How does it look like, right? Actually, fun fact, Shenzhen and Hong Kong is actually closer than compared to Singapore to JB.
Serious man?
A lot closer. You can walk to Hong Kong.
Oh, can walk to JB.
Walk, right? It's closer. So actually, at Shenzhen, the immigration checkpoint, right? You just need to show them your passport, then they give you a chop, you clear. You just need to walk like a 5-minute bridge, even less than that, 3 minutes, 3-minute bridge. Then you reach the Hong Kong checkpoint, you chop, and then you're in Hong Kong. Then after that, correct. Then after that, I'll take a train lah. I'll take a train to my workplace. Then I thought that was very exciting because wow, I never see Hong Kong or all the mountains very big wow. But when that view you get to see once, twice, 10 times, 20 times, then it becomes like
Hong Kong is just Hong Kong.
Yeah. Then so I think going there, I get to experience the Cantonese part of things. So actually, my meeting is hosted in Cantonese. So like I will be with my colleagues. So there will be like 5 of them. Then they'll just put up presentation. Even though the presentation is in English, all of them speak in Canto. So imagine if you are someone who is not very sure with Cantonese, right? Then that's something that maybe have to catch up a bit more. So this is the exposure I had. Luckily, I had some Cantonese background, so I can understand. Yeah. Then second thing that I have experienced that I think worth sharing would be, I think quite similar to yours. Like when I came to China, right? My Shenzhen branch there, I had the initial idea of like Chinese in China would be very close-minded, would be very traditional, would be maybe not as open up to the world compared to us. But actually I go there, they're really quite chill. I think more so is they're very curious about things going on out of China. Yeah, especially for Singapore, they'll see you, then they'll say like, hey, about Lee Kuan Yew and all these kind of things.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they
always talk about Lee Kuan Yew.
Wow, Lee Kuan Yew 哇，
Lee Kuan Yew 很好
很幸运呢。
Yeah.
哇，新加坡啊，哇，什么什么。Yeah, so they like to exchange this kind of comments lah. Then I think quite interesting the culture.
Hey, just curious. Your interviewer will ask you, you know how to speak Cantonese?
Actually no Actually don't.
But how you go and catch out all the technical term? How you know what is
So I have to ask lah.
I have to ask
lah. You know, Goi Siu Mai?
So okay, I think something that I realized after working there for 2 weeks, their priority of language command would be like Cantonese, Chinese, then English. At least to me lah. They
Hong
speak,
Kong.
yeah, they speak to me in Chinese more than English.
They thought you mainland.
Okay lah, maybe I look a bit mainland.
In our
Actually,
batch, my Chinese the worst. My Chinese the worst in our batch, bro. But luckily, like it's not that bad for my company because like my company very international, right? So they actually like know how to speak English one. It's just that they prefer to speak in Chinese. I'm not, of course, right? It's like I'm in Singapore, even though I'm Chinese, I'm not Chinese, I prefer to speak English, right? Yeah, so it's like they'll try to speak to me in Chinese, but then if I don't know, then they will be able to guide me whenever I need. Then I'm also very lucky because like my superior is also Singaporean. So that when he talk to me in English. He says that
superior is Singaporean.
Yeah, my superior is Singaporean man. Then he's like, actually, talk to you in Chinese a bit weird.
Then he talk to you in Singlish.
Talk to you, yeah, he said, wow, very long never have somebody talk to me in English. Yeah, but anyway, whenever we have client meetings and stuff, I still talk in Chinese. Then whenever I hear some stuff I don't know, then I'll just write down the hand in pinning, whatever I heard lah, I'll just write down. Then at the end of the meeting, then I'll show to my superior. So I understood nothing about the meeting just now. But then I have some questions lah. Then I just go and show him more like what is this word? Then he's like, huh? You're pinning right wrong lah. So like my Chinese really not very good, but I still survive. So actually, the language you can lah. Cause the Chinese had to learn English also. They had to learn actually. It's just like the degree of how much they learn is a bit different lah. Yeah. But they know one. Yeah, so it's okay.
Okay. I share with you all one story that I personally find it quite how to say Okay, anyways, I'll just share first. So right, I actually wrote down before I came to Shenzhen, I got write down some goals that I want to achieve in this 6 months. Then because I know that I'm going to Hong Kong to work, and I realized my command of Cantonese is not very good, right? So I put down in my goal to learn Cantonese before I come back to Singapore.
Wow.
So that's one of my goals. Then I achieve it, I think 半桶水 halfway there.
Halfway meh?
Halfway.
Siu.
Okay, so I remember that time I tried very hard to learn Cantonese. Then 2 instances kind of made me realize that I'm really not as good as I thought, because Cantonese is, how to say, it takes much longer to learn. Then one of the first scenario was when I go out, dine out with my colleagues. Then we're eating. Then after that I realized there was no tissue. There was no spoon for me. So I say, hey shit, I need to take a spoon. Then one of them volunteered. They say, I help you ask the waitress lah. Then I say, never mind, I want to practice my Cantonese. So I go up. So I stood up. Then after I walked to the waitress. Then I say, mo qi gang. Then she hear, huh? Yo, then she go and take tissue for me. Huh? What tissue? Then after that, because I went back to sit down in my seat, right? Then the waitress came out with like bunch of tissue. Then all over the table look confused. Huh? What do you tell the waitress? Then I say, qi gang ma. Then the waitress, oh, qi gang le yo qi gang ma. So actually there's a like pronunciation play lah. So he thought I spoke I wanted tissue. Yeah, then all of them say, bro, you know what? Never mind lah. I think you just speak Chinese. Speak English. Then like, okay. Then second time right was when I was handling some technical stuff. Because when I spoke to one of the hardware engineers, then the hardware engineer he graduated in London, so he's good in Cantonese, he's good in English, but he sucks at Chinese. So what I did was I tried to speak in Cantonese to him because I want to practice my Cantonese, right? So I spoke to him. Then I realized my sentence as I spoke, right, it gets more and more like a lot of pauses. Then I couldn't fill in the words. Then I keep saying a bit of Chinese in the Cantonese, a bit of Chinese. Then he got them fed up. He just said,不用紧, I 听得懂 Chinese. 你跟我讲 Chinese 就好了. Then I speak to you in Cantonese. Then okay. So end up, role reverse, right? I tell him in Chinese, now he speak to me in Cantonese. I say, yeah. Think though. Okay. Then we converse. Next question is, how do y'all find the culture of your company so far? Like back then when you work?
I think even though like company culture, whatever, right? The culture is set by the 最上面, the highest up. They will set, they'll tell them, I want it to be like that, then they'll tell the managers, right? But then within each team, they have their own culture also, because the manager actually sets the culture. I'm not sure whether you know, because your team is bigger. So yours should have like different project teams should have different culture, but later you can share. So for mine, we have a very small team. So because of that, we operate very, very, not say segregatedly, but it's like, okay, brief, okay, 自己做, own self do whatever you want to do. Then only when you got questions, then you ask. So there's too much autonomy and not as much of like communication like between each other until like you need to do it. So because the team is very small and the manager is very flexible, so for me I didn't feel like very, very big changes in the culture. Yeah, so
okay.
So for me like it didn't feel very, very, very strong lah. Yeah, like sometimes maybe in Singapore like even though you're in the same department, right? Okay, but then you got different teams. But then like this team very, very bonded one. Then like you got the brother kind of culture, where everybody help each other, this kind of stuff. Then another team will be like a lot more like quiet, or you do your own stuff. You do your own stuff, all this. Yeah, I feel like all this is all set by the manager lah. For me, my manager is like you do your own stuff. Yeah, you got questions you can ask.
They'll be independent.
Yeah, but I won't micromanage you lah, because he trusts your work. Okay, at the start they will say like, okay, you let me check on Tuesday, let me check on Thursday, let me check on Friday. But then afterwards, you show them like my Tuesday, then I just check on Friday. Then from there it's like, you tell me when you can finish. Then I tell them by this date. Then he'll be like, okay, this date.
And now he follow your schedule.
Yeah, because like as long as you show that they can trust you, then it's okay. So the culture was not imposed on me. Rather, like I was able to have the flexibility to also set my own culture. Also, I bring in how I can contribute better, how I like to work into the picture instead of being forced to work in a certain way. Because some people are really forced to work in a certain way. It doesn't matter whether it's Singapore, it doesn't matter whether it's China, but you just gotta work that way. Yeah. But for me, very lucky. So it really depends.
How big your company again?
We only got 3 people including me. So so that's why like it's very flexible.
Yeah.
How much can they force you like to do rip out every day? I mean like that's the most they can force me, right? To do like diary every single day. But then
really where you go do it?
No, my company has this culture, but other companies have. Rip out and 周报, daily report, weekly report. And the CEO checks, bro. The CEO comment on the daily report. Can you please put some proper actionable items here? This is not specific enough. But I mean, it's nothing wrong. I can understand why you want to set rip out. But when you set rip out, then you are micromanaging, even though you're not, but people might feel a certain way. Then it creates a culture of like, I need to not make mistakes. And then people will start to like roll from there lah. So all the kind of like small decisions that like the manager or the CEO make will big differences to the culture. Yeah, for me,
Okay.
very lucky. Nothing much.
As opposed to some like my company is slightly bigger, I would say. Yeah,
How many people
quite a
are?
lot bigger.
10 times?
70.
70 is 20 times, bro.
Okay. Yeah. So
百多 right? 100 plus.
100多. Okay, like in the Shenzhen headquarters,
Oh,
you have the Changsha also.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So company quite open. To say that because our direct supervisor is a CMO, so all the instruction actually come from him, right? But he also don't micromanage us lah, whereby every week we have like meeting twice. So that's when we update what we did for this week and what we want to do for the next probably 2 days until the next meeting. Yeah. So it's flexible. He let us report what we want to do. If we think that there is something wrong, then he will just advise us on what is the correct way to do the stuff they want to do. Yeah. Then he actually encourages to make mistakes. But when you make a mistake, you need to know why you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then know how to recover from it.
Mm.
Right. So it's good lah, because you don't have to be scared all the time. Like, wow, what if I do this? What if I make a mistake and then I got scolded by my CMO? Like, yeah. So there's no such mindset within the company itself. We allow each other to grow, regardless whether you're gonna make mistake or not, because that's how you grow lah. Yeah. So then, yeah, there's a bulk of it, but also I would say that, like just now I said, it's a very close community lah. So sometimes occasionally Friday we just go drink with our colleagues. So that's where we get to bond outside office working hours, which is very good. We don't want to bond
Yeah.
with just like within work
yeah.
itself. We are just very serious. We work on try to fulfill the client's requirement as fast as possible, get the work churned out. But outside of work, we actually have our fun period lah, where we get to talk to our colleague, know more about them, what they do on a daily basis, what they do when they're free. Then they also ask more about us. Yeah, so like a chit chat session. Yeah, and I think the last part, which is the most important part, so he always tells us one thing. We are building a company, but we are not taking a very big step one at a time. So every step that he wants us to take, it will be a very small step, and then it's sort of like help him to kind of like minimize the effect of the mistake that we're gonna make also, because the changes that we're gonna make as compared to the previous iteration, it won't be that big. Yeah. So that's the culture lah. That's the culture that you try to impose lah. So very firstly, it's just like open communication. Then second is like don't be afraid to make mistake. And then the third one, of course, like if you want to make changes, make a very small changes one step at a time until you achieve what you want to do. Yeah.
How about 996?
996. Okay lah. At first it was quite tiring.
What's your work